I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement.
Happy Thursday, everyone. My name is Mark from Half Breed Observer and On Culture Currency. To my right is my co-host.
And I'm Mo from OTP Clubhouse.
Hopefully you guys are doing well. Mo, dude, did you see Amazon?
Yeah, I'm just watching it right now.
It's up. Did you expect these type of results?
Yeah. It's, if you look at it, there's a trend. The stocks that are getting beaten up before earnings are going up. So Netflix got beaten up a month into earnings, and then when earnings happened, it jumped about 15%. Amazon went from 135 to 120 into earnings, and now people are buying it up. It's not, to be honest with you, man, it's hard to say that now, because yesterday Meta pumped and they sold off the entire pump, and it dropped like, I think 280-ish today. So it was down a whole bunch today. So I don't know if they keep the pump going overnight. So it's going to be hard to say.
Yeah, so far, I mean, the earnings has been kind of interesting. You know, Tesla took a dump. Google, was it 9%? I believe it dropped down 9% after the earnings report. And then there were some surprises like Snap. Did you see Snap?
No, I didn't watch Snap. Let's see.
Yeah, I was surprised in that one. It finally had a decent looking quarter, so everyone started buying it up. I was shocked because I was expecting for like another, 20-30% drop like it usually always gets. But no, I didn't look into all the details because personally I'm not going to invest in Snap. I don't see the future.
I don't know if you knew
it
this,
jumped.
But Snap approved $500 million worth of buyback. That's probably why you saw a lot of people buying, and then they're going to start buying it too. So that usually does the pump too.
Okay, so that's what happened. Yeah, because I didn't look at it. Nothing. I was just like, it was just interesting to see Snap jump up. I mean, it's still not nearly at where it was at one point. Because I remember everyone loved Snap back in 2020 because they were doing that augmented reality stuff. But Microsoft is killing it. Microsoft did their reporting and they killed it as well. So, speaking of Microsoft, real quick, you and I both, we have Apple products, but I would say we're probably not the biggest Apple fans. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, and do you think Microsoft is going to basically replace Apple as the next major trend set and is going to overtake Apple?
I don't think there's any taking over Apple, in my opinion. I think they could lose they're at risk of losing market share now, which is very natural because they have been holding the number one spot for the longest time. And over time, their innovation is kind of slowing down. We talk about it for the last 4 years. All you've been seeing is them doing stuff, or them doing things to make more money. So first, not including the charger, then taking the headsets out. It's just they're trying to fatten their gross margin, where other companies are trying to offer more discounts. So they're taking advantage of their competitiveness that they have. But I don't know. I don't think anything can take over unless they come up with something that no one really knows about. Like, you probably already know this. I worked for corporate for 7 years, and one thing I noticed that if there was any innovation going in the competition, they knew about it. Like, there's no such thing as secrets. Everyone knows what everyone is up to. So usually, like, if they are falling behind, they can put in extra resources and people, or poach people from other companies. So just looking at from that angle, I think if something takes over, it would be a company they've never heard of. Someone comes from out of nowhere. Those are the ones that they need to watch out for. All the top executives of these companies, they meet, they're going to the same golf courses, their kids are going to the same school, so they're pretty well connected, and which is why it's sort of like a monopoly, which they're okay with. Like, I'll take this much share, you'll take this much share. It's understood, they're in agreement and balance. So I don't think it would be them, it would be someone else they don't expect.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%, because if you think about it, remember when ChatGPT was about a year ago? Well, has it been a year, or has it been 2 years so far since it's been out? But remember when ChatGPT, once they released it, all of a sudden, all the other competitors came in. It was like, we also have our own platform, which means that everyone's been working on this for probably several years. They were just kind of waiting to see who would jump the shark first. And then it's like, even if your product is not fully developed, you have to put it out there now to take advantage of the momentum of the AI trend. So it's interesting. But honestly, man, Microsoft and Apple, they're still performed extremely well this year. Apple's up 33% year to date, even with this sell-off that happened today, which sucks because I'm actually in a January 2024 Apple call for 185. Do you remember that one that came in? I think it was 2-3 weeks ago. Millions of dollars got put into that call for Apple, which I'm sure
Yeah.
they probably profit, and I'm still in it. But I got in it about a week and a half ago. But my trade is almost free because I've been selling premiums against it. So I collected the first time because it cost me $220 to get the 185 call. I'm sorry, numbers. Yeah, it was November, not January. So I was wrong. And so I sold a position against that for 110, and I kept 100 of it. Then I also sold a premium for 100, and I kept 90 of it. And now I sold another one right now for 71. Probably gonna close out on it tomorrow. It's up significantly. I probably should just close out on it tomorrow. I'm probably gonna close at I'm giving back $10, so I probably pocket $60. So the trade is already free, but I also got into a vertical spread put on this one because I didn't think Apple was actually going to fall below 169. And it did today, and I wasn't paying attention to the market because I was completely busy. So it wasn't until the end of the day when I was like, oh shit, it dropped all the way down to 166. So it had a pretty bad day for Apple so far. But Microsoft so far so good, man. 36 is it 36%? I think it's 36% year to date. Yep, 36%, almost 37% this year. So they've been a banger, man, because Microsoft's been sleeping for quite some time, and it's finally doing its thing. So I'm proud of it. I think it's very well diverse, more than Apple, and that's why I prefer Microsoft over Apple. I don't own any Apple shares, just Microsoft. Yeah, what about you, Mo, man? What's going on with you? Any trades or anything? What's the update on your status, and what do you win?
So I day trade now. I don't do swing trade, and if I'm swing trading, they're very small position. They're with profit. I would say this is an easy market if you aren't really thinking much more than the numbers you see. If you let your mind wander around what's happening in the world and the economy with the war, with the US, and all the changes that Biden's making, it's going to impact your trading. I remember I tell a lot of people, when you're trading, wear the trading hat. Don't wear the economist hat. Don't wear the investor hat. So if you have any other hat right now, you're going to try doing things against the grain of the market, and you're going to lose a lot of money, which is what's happening with a lot of people. One thing with me is I always put my pride away. So when I'm wrong, I exit fast. I don't really care about what other people think. I'll admit it, and I'll just get out. I've been trying to do live every single day and giving my thesis. So far, it's been working out. The big change that's coming in my life is in the next 4 days, I'm moving countries. So I'll be leaving Canada and making a switch to US, mostly looking at the Dallas area for now. Just basically, that's where most of my customer base and my life is, because I trade the US stock market and connect with every single person that lives in states. So I thought it was just a no-brainer moving there for a little bit. So that's happening in 4 days. For that reason, probably not going to be shooting for the next Thursday episode. But yeah, I just wanted to give that. It's a pretty big deal for us because we're moving as an entire family. So you can imagine, like, just
Yeah.
we're not taking anything with us. It's just us, the basic stuff, and then we're basically be buying everything there. So
Yeah, it's
fun
gonna be busy,
times.
man. Yeah, it's gonna be busy for you, man. And so everyone, please just understand, like our episodes will be kind of sporadic here for the next like 2 months or so. We got a lot going on, man. I got a lot going on in my life. He's got a lot going on in his life. The move is a huge thing, but I think it's also a tax benefit, isn't it? Does that also help with taxes? Because you in Canada, you guys are just getting raped right now.
To be honest with you, Mark, the whole trip is a tax benefit because I'm moving for business reasons, right?
Hmm.
So, um, that my entire purpose is business. I'm conducting business there. So yeah, everything is a tax benefit if you put it that way.
Oh, yeah, no, because I know it's getting bad out there from what I hear, right? In Canada with everything and businesses and people
Well,
who are
you
trying to
heard
start.
me talking. You heard me talking live yesterday. Mark, Lawrence, they were shocked when I was telling them what's happening. Every time I go and talk to someone and they figure out I'm moving, because based on our conversation, the first thing say, you're lucky, man. This it is really bad here. I'm like, but that's not why I'm moving. But you know what? I understand. Like, it's not like I'm selling my house and moving. No, we're gonna be keeping this and then taking care of stuff there too. But I just try to just listen and observe people and what they're going through, because I don't understand their pain, because I'm in a different I'm in a different zone, because I made a phone call, including you, to multiple people about a year and a half ago and said recession's coming. Save up. Like, I've been practicing. I've been waiting for what's to come for the last year and a half, and I was ready. And that's what I tell people. You waiting for the government to tell you, well, recession's here now. Start building your emergency fund. Go learn a new skill, or you're about to lose a lot of money, your house, your stocks, and everything else. No, that's not like that. I'm not gonna let the government control me. I'm not gonna let COVID control the decisions I make. So yeah, things are gonna go out of my plan, which I always expect. That's what traders do. But it's about to get worse. My estimate said that by summer this happens, but it's coming early. We're down about what, 400 points. I think we're gonna go another 200 points before we see any relief. In my opinion, you get that little small Santa rally, people get happy, and then they go again, because it's not looking good. And I think politically, a lot of decisions are being made for the next elections rather than boosting the economy. Just looking at it from no angle, no political party, just looking at it in Canada and in the US. And I'll tell you a shocking fact that my friend told me. He's been doing mortgage business for 25 years. He said only 5% of people in Canada are being impacted with the new interest rate. And a lot of them, 80%, will get impacted next year. That's a big number. And our houses are way more expensive than you guys. Like, our average house is, and I don't even want to talk Vancouver. People will, it'll blow their mind. But where I live, average house here is 1.2 million. And we don't make nowhere near what you guys make in states. So people make a lot more. I'd say about 30% more, just doing the same jobs in states. So it's gonna get hard here.
I think it's gonna get hard everywhere. That's why I am
Yeah.
currently not comfortable going too heavy into buying anything stock related right now, because something has to drop. Remember, again, we're like in recession, and we were just talking about Microsoft and Apple, and there's a lot of companies, especially tech companies, that have run up significantly, and I just do not feel comfortable with pulling the trigger for anything. Just like, what's you guys' interest rate right now out in Canada for homes?
Um, Roughly around, if you're doing a 5-year fixed, don't quote me to it. This is like what I found last month. If you're doing 5-year fixed, you're looking at about 5.5%. If you are doing 1-year fixed, which is a lot of people are trying to time the market, you're about 7.5 to 8%.
Mm.
Because a lot of people think after a year the rates are going to come down, so they don't want to sign up for 4 or 5 years.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, because ours is a 30-year rate right now. My wife's friend just bought a house, and I think her interest rate was 8%, which
At
is
30 years?
ridiculous. 30 years, man,
Why
8%.
would you do that?
Well, we in the States, our traditionally our regular mortgage loans are 30 years. Like, my mortgage loan's 30 years.
But is it
My
fixed or
wife's family is
variable?
30 years. It's fixed. It's fixed. You can do variable, and you can lower your interest rates, but that's way too risky. Because think about it: anybody who did any variable rates 3 years ago is screwed right now, because 3 years ago we were at what, 2-3%, something like that. My interest rate, dude, is 2.25. Like, it would be stupid for me to sell my home, and I think a lot of people are starting to have that same understanding. Like, yeah, it would be great, you could sell your home for a lot of money out here right now, but if you sell your home, you're going to get into another home with a higher interest rate that also costs more. So it doesn't make sense for people to really just sell their home right now, no matter how much it is. Because me and my wife, we have a significant amount of equity in our home, but it's like, I'm not going to take out a second mortgage on it. And again, I'm not completely real estate literate, but I'm not going to try to put myself in any sort of uncomfortable decision. And I'm planning on just staying in this house for a long time. I'll buy real estate elsewhere in another country. But I did see a lot of people like, why would anybody right now who is sitting on a 2 to 3 to 4% interest rate, who would want to get out of that to get into a 8, 9, 10% mortgage rate? And nobody. So I think it's gonna get ugly if, like, the recession hits, and if some of those people just got homes with those high interest rates, if they lose their jobs, I think they might be in trouble.
I think, Mark, what they're doing, and I know this because I've been, since last 3 months, been looking at houses in Dallas. And what I've noticed is a lot of houses are not going for, and this is in summer when houses go pretty fast because it's school time. They aren't going, they're staying on the market for 45 days plus, and they're significantly reducing the rent. Like I saw some of the houses go from 5,000 to 3,000 in like 6 months. So gradually, they're just knocking $500 off every single month, which is unheard of. Like you won't see that in Canada. Like if there is a listing that pops up, it gets rented within that week. And for every one house, I'd say there's about 40 to 50 people that want to rent it. We have a housing situation in where we live. It's because of immigration and whatnot. But I think personally, US is in a lot better spot than Canada. So I don't think Canada will be able to keep the rates at this. They're going to have to bring them down. I also think, and this is probably the biggest piece that most people don't get it. For the longest time, funds have been parking their money in big stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. And now we're seeing them shake, Nvidia included. And when they shake, that's how they fall. Usually this is a good thing because this tells you we're coming to a end. Because look, if the feds want to, they can just crash it if they wanted to, but they're not letting that happen. BOJ, other banks, they keep buying when we start getting to dangerous levels. That tells you that they're kind of maintaining it. So if keeping that scenario, unless someone drops the ball, I think we will soon reach a bottom, probably end of summer next year, in my opinion. But I think if you are an investor, you should keep buying it as long as you have your life together. I think Amazon is going to come close to 100. I think if we really get lucky, AMD gets to 75 level, but 85-ish is coming very fast on it.
Did you say Nvidia to $75?
Sorry, AMD, not Nvidia, AMD.
Oh, okay. Like I said, Nvidia. I was like, whoa, dude, you're like giving out something. You definitely want to go viral today. You're giving out saying Nvidia is going to 75.
Yeah.
And Tesla's going to $1.
No, Tesla, look, we've said this. I think Tesla sees 200, which is like a no-brainer now. But I think Tesla sees 100 because, look, it's not Tesla. It's the car industry, right? Their margins are so slim now, and people are still not buying it. Like, personally, Mark, if I was to buy Tesla, it would be my second car. It won't, like, I would need another normal gas car if we're driving outside city or anything like that, because there's still places that have issues. And I don't want to have that thought in my mind that, am I going to get another electric station in the middle of somewhere? So I would maybe buy that as a second car. In the economy we're running into, I don't think it's a second car economy. It's basically sell the second car for now economy, because most people aren't ready and most people are positive, which is good. But I think if you're an investor, keep buying with the levels you want to buy at. But most people that are waiting for the dip never buy, in my opinion, because they think it'll dip more. I made that mistake with Tesla. I think I could have swiped Tesla and Nvidia when it was at the low. I was just waiting for another key level to break, and that where I messed up. Won't mess up this time. I'm watching AMD, Nvidia, and Amazon and Tesla. Those are the four I'll be looking at.
It's funny, dude. I feel like when people tune into us, they're like, "Man, you guys are always negative, man. You guys are like Robert Kawasaki. Like the world is gonna end. World War III. Sell everything. Buy gold, 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 gold." So
I don't think people think we're negative.
I don't know. It's just like every day we tune in, though, we're like, dude, we're in this recession economy where people can't afford anything, and some people are like, "Man, dude, you guys are depressing. I want to hear the positive stuff. So tell me about how I can make money." You can't. We're all going to lose everything. The recession, World War III is happening, which brings me to my next topic, ladies and gentlemen.
Trigger warning. The following content may contain opinions, thoughts, and subject matter that could be sensitive or triggering for some individuals. Viewer discretion is advised.
Let's talk about the Israel and Palestine situation right now. Nothing much has changed since we spoke about it last time. I try to remain completely on report news, being extremely unbiased when it comes to reporting of the situations that's happening. Now, if you guys are not familiar with me, if this is the first time you're tuning in, I've had more than 17 years in intelligence field, period, working with various different agencies in the past. And I'm really good at this job. So that's the reason why I want to kind of report this stuff. I keep up on it a lot. But yeah, not a lot has changed. Still propaganda on both sides. The latest and greatest news, I would say, was probably about a week ago when about the hospital that got hit in Gaza. The Palestinians are saying that it was one of the Israeli missiles. Israelis saying, no, we would never do that. It's definitely a misfire by Hamas. They released a video that does look like a misfire by Hamas. It's a video from really, really far away where you see them shooting missiles, and one of them kind of just fails and drops nearby, which they're saying is the hospital. But then Hamas released a video showing that no, it's not our missile because our missiles don't have these type of components and all this other stuff. So it's so much propaganda when it comes to this whole situation. So I know it's extremely hard to kind of find unbiased news out there, but so hopefully I'm that source for y'all. Anyways, not much has changed. Same old same. It doesn't look like we're getting close to any sort of resolution right now. In fact, I would say that we're probably in a more worse situation than before. You have Biden, who publicly did an interview recently, and I'm not sure if he thinks this is like 1990 or 1980s, where everyone's like, whoa, let's go and kill all the towel heads over there in the Middle East, because it's not like that anymore, man. Things have changed, and he's sitting is especially right now. And I'm not quoting or anything. Just watch it. I'll probably put in the description. Watch the full interview. So I'm just kind of summarizing. It was in a sense of him saying that he would like during his time as president to bring world peace by eliminating Putin, to bring peace to Europe, and to eradicate Hamas and any other terrorist organization, to bring peace to the Middle East. That's his goal. So what do I hear? I hear a lot of money is going to be made, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So did you see that interview at all, Mo, with where Biden was basically explaining his intent?
I intentionally don't want to watch any of that stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, I get it, right? Because it's stressful. You watch it and it's just like, it's depressing every time you go on Twitter, every time you turn on the news. It's like thousands of people, thousands of Palestinians died, thousands of Israelis died. And you see Palestinians and Israelis fighting back and forth, right? I'm assuming that's why.
There's very graphic pictures on Twitter and Instagram. And there's no age limit. So it doesn't say don't click on it, it's visual content. And like there's a lot of issues. I don't think they should be displayed because there's a lot of people suffering from depression and anxiety. It's not making it better, but I do understand why. But I think we need to get to a point where they need to authenticate the news, man. There is like stuff that gets posted like, oh, this was last year. Oh, this was not even in this place. This was somewhere else. And people are just not doing fact checking. And I don't know, it's been like 2 years we've been doing that and talking about critical thinking, and it's not there. And so I see people fighting under the comments. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to watch this because news is negative, but so is Twitter now, and so is Instagram. So you know what? I just don't go on it anymore. I get all my news from you.
Yeah. You get it from me. Well, you never know. What if I'm biased, Mo? What if I'm biased? No, that's what I'm saying, y'all need to critically think. It's extremely important, especially if you rely on the mainstream media like CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, NBC, and etc., because they're extremely biased.
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed.
So what do you do?
That's a great question. What is the long-term effect of too much information? One of the effects is the need to be first, not even to be true anymore. So what a responsibility you all have to tell the truth, not just to be first, but to tell the truth. We live in a society now where it's just first. Who cares? Get it out there. We don't care who it hurts. We don't care who we destroy. We don't care if it's true. Just say it, sell it. Anything you practice, you'll get good at, including BS.
You told me last
Listen, and I shouldn't give them a shout out because I reached out to them and I want them to sponsor us. Ground News is a great resource to go to. I believe it's groundnews.com. It's an unbiased news source where they basically just accumulate various different stories from different headlines and they put it right there so you can consume it all in one spot. But they give you a rating to let you know if it's neutral, if it's left leaning, or if it's right leaning. Great. I love that. So if y'all watching, sponsor us for real. I see y'all sponsoring all these other YouTubers out there. Anyways, That one, as well as Breaking Point. Shout out to those guys over there. I think Breaking Point does a really, really good job covering the news. They have, one is a Republican, one is a Democrat, and they're both hosting the show together, and they kind of sometimes go back and forth on their ideology, but it's mostly just fact based with a little bit of opinion. Because if you just rely on CNN or Fox News, you'll get situations like this. For example, we had John Brennan, former CIA director. We had Michael Allen. He used to be the former top NSC official. We have also had Jeremy Bash, Leon Panetta, and Dennis Ross. All these people have been going on these news channels, the mainstream media, and been giving their take on it and what they believe we should do as a country, because they're the experts, right? Just like me, they're the experts who have been in this. Like I said, former CIA director. And what do you think they are recommending, Mo?
Justice for Israel, sending money.
Yes. Spending, potentially protecting Israel by all means necessary. Because again, remember, Israel's our ally, so we are going to have a bias. And the president made it very, very clear we stand with Israel.
We're with Israel. Let's make no mistake. Thank you.
So yes, the only problem with all those individuals that I just named, right? These are all the experts. When they go on a television show, they explain that their background history, like I said, CIA director, NSC official. The issue is this, Mo, is that every single one of those officials that I just named, the military industrial complex. They work for a lot of these companies, from Raytheon, Boeing, L3, Khaki. All these people actually work for these companies either as a consultant or as a contractor, or actually leading programs within these military, industrial, aerospace, defense companies. So they have an interest. So when they go on CNN and Fox News and tell you, hey, we should go to war, think about why they're telling you that. Because they're going to make money, and Congress is going to make money, and they've been making money because they've been in Raytheon, Khaki, and the cult classic Palantir, as well as Northrop. So if you look at Northrop, for example, it's currently at $477. Within the last month alone, it jumped up 9%. You look at Boeing, which is actually down there at 179 year to date. I'm sorry, for the past month, they're actually down 8% because they had a terrible quarter and they didn't deliver all the results that they were supposed to. Then you have Raytheon's currently at, also formerly now known as RTX. So it's actually formerly known as Raytheon, $79, up 8% in the past month. Lockheed Martin at $446, up 9% this month. You have Leidos, which is actually completely flat at $92. You have Khaki at $328, up 5% for the month, as well as Palantir, which is up 3% this month. So should you buy? Buy, because if you don't care about blood money, why not invest into the military industrial complex? Because we are the number one arms dealer here in this country. For you to companies to create generational wealth for you. Who cares if a couple of kids or women or children die? It doesn't matter. Anyways, you also have the ETF, which by Spider Aerospace Defense, ticker symbol XAR. It's got a pretty low expense ratio at 0.35, and Northrop is the number one holding in there. It's currently going at $114. But if you want to get better exposure to the companies I was saying, like these special consultants who go on this channel, if you want to get invested in Northrop, Boeing, Raytheon, Lockheed, L3, and etc., check out iShares Aerospace and Defense, ticker symbol ITA, is currently at $108. Is only up a 1.5. But hey, listen, it's going to be worth it. Why not invest into the military industrial complex? Anyways, all right, Mo. So I had my Russell Brand moment there. You looked very uncomfortable. Sorry, it's okay. All my opinion, y'all. My opinion only.
No, I'm not uncomfortable. Matter of the fact, I actually forced you to get on and say this because a lot of people don't know this. I did not know that a lot of people that are speaking have some sort of agenda, which again, it's because I don't watch it. But every time, I've said that before too, when someone tells you to do something, I always think, what interest do they have, monetary and otherwise, influencing you, and then decide if that's okay and if it benefits you or not. So in this case, I don't think people that are watching it benefits them anyway. I think people are mainly concerned because you don't want to see innocent kids and people getting killed in the name of justice. So
correct, yeah. And just so everyone knows, you know, I was clearly being facetious in my delivery somewhat, right? So you should be able to see where my opinion is and where facts are, right? So I spit out of facts and just kind of with my sarcastic humor putting in my opinion. But yeah, it's a touchy subject, man. I don't know. My question to you, Mo, is do you think this could lead to something bigger than what it is right now? Are you concerned?
If I'm always concerned. I'm always paranoid with the level of information I have, with the kind of people we sit down with, and what they tell us. I'm always paranoid. It takes one small thing for things to go off. You know that. You have that kind of experience. I think if there's more money to be made in this war, they're going to try dragging it as long as they can, which we've seen in the past. Um, Usually, it's contained, right? Because you don't want this coming to your backyard. As long as it's happening far away and you can monetize, it's usually okay. So I think for those reasons, I think they contain it. But it takes one leader to just kind of ruin the whole country and then whole world by making one small wrong decision. So I'm always paranoid with this stuff, and that comes with the cost of knowing, right? You're always thinking.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you get paranoid when you're watching this because you've been in those situations. Like for some of us who've never been in this situation, we don't know what it feels like, right? We don't.
yeah. Well, I think I said this publicly before. This is the first time that I would say like I'm actually worried. This is the first time, and I was on the ground in Iraq, so this is the first time I'm legit worried. I'm like I'm nervous. That's all, and hopefully things will de-escalate. My goal overall is just I'm not for escalation. I'm for de-escalation. And I wish we would just kind of focus more on that. But what I would say though, and I don't know, I am curious. I'm going to ask the audience: have you guys noticed a shift in support for Israel? I'm seeing it online, at least. It seems like people are kind of everyone. I think everyone agrees and condemns Hamas, but it seems like Israel's retaliation is not sitting well with a lot of people, and it seems like a lot of support is being lost by America and Israel. And I'm seeing massive Free Palestinians protests show up everywhere from New York to definitely London and in Australia as well. So it's pretty interesting. Remember, if you're not sure what Free Palestine means, watch our previous episode where I break down the difference between supporting Hamas and Free Palestine, and just no opinion on that one. It's just giving you kind of the facts on that. So over to you though, Mo. That was it, ladies and gentlemen, for my little take on the political side of things.
Let's talk about making money in the market. I'm going to show you guys something. I made this 2 days ago. This is called a inverse cup and handle. And I basically made this when it was just a cup. And then when I saw this, made the handle. And this is around where I started shorting the market. Yesterday, I got shaken out a couple of times because what we were seeing in the market was there was a lot of basing. And then you think nothing's going to happen. And then boom, a drop. And then the last today and yesterday were pretty good if you stayed in your put. So today was pretty amazing for us. A lot of people think it's over. After this, we're going to get a bounce. There's a possibility that we can reverse from here. 41.35 is the big level. 41.35, 41.32. It's a pretty big level. But if we do break this is the level 39.45 I think we can get. But we really need to bounce off of there. And if you guys are wondering, well, what's the significance of 39.45? Let me show. Let me switch this up to 200. I'll show you guys in a sec what I mean by this. So 39.45 is a 200 moving average on the weekly chart, which is why it's very important. I think the market is usually in a dip buying mode around this time seasonality. We could check the seasonality chart. This is when we start heading up for Santa rally. But with everything that's happening with the war and just the inflation and the GDP numbers, even, they were really good. That usually tells you good news is bad news, and they think that they're going to keep rates consistent, which is not good because a lot of people are feeling the heat, which we've gone over. For the next short opportunity, here's what I like. I entered these puts today, got stopped out. I'm looking to enter them again tomorrow. So if we look at the daily chart on BAC, Bank of America, give me 1 second. If we go daily, this is your 50 moving average. Sorry, I was looking for 100. So this is your 100 moving average. I'm not sure if we get there on sorry on the hourly, not daily. This is where our supply is too. This is where I'm looking to short it. I tried shorting it on the 50 moving average on hourly, which is this. It didn't work out, so I exit the trade. So this is where I got in, and it just bounced against me, so I got out. I'm looking to short around this area for. I picked next week, which I shouldn't have because the market gets these big green candles because people are covering. I'm looking at around November 17. Even if I show you just the whole sector, XLF on daily, just removing all indicators, this does not look good. This looks like we dropped and let me show you, in my opinion, what I'm seeing here. In supply and demand, we call this a drop, and you should
Where's
see
the
a
price
solid
currently on XLF there, Mo? What's
for
the price?
XLF.
Is it? Yeah, where's it at right now?
It's 31.97. No, it's at 32.03.
Oh, okay. Because I have that. That's one of the ETFs that I have been investing into for the past year, my Roth IRA, because it's been getting beat up quite a bit. So clearly I'm down. I think 33 is my average, though.
So this is what I expect it to do.
see?
I expect a base and a drop, and I think we're looking at about 31-ish. The good thing about banks is they're very cheap. So when you're playing from a small account, you can load up the contract. Like you could pretty much buy November contracts on BAC for like $11. So you could like load up 10 contracts. I'm not telling people to do that, but you can actually buy quantity because banks are cheap, and then you can buy more time so you're not micromanaging. I made the mistake of just going next week, which if you look at it, it seems like, oh yeah, it's a lot. It's not a lot of time. You get one or two green candles, you're down 30-40% before you know it. There's a lot of flow for next week and next month on BAC. So that's pretty much what I'm watching. So let's go BAC for a second. So I could give you something specific. I would look at, let's go 5 minutes for a second. It's at 26.13. That's what it closed at. I would look at 25.50 for November 17th. That's just giving you something very specific, and I'm looking for it tomorrow. I was hoping Amazon comes in and kills it so we get the pump. We did not get a pump. So most likely tomorrow might be another sell-off. For the last 3 Fridays, we've been getting a sell-off. Usually Fridays are like short cover rallies. We haven't seen that. Let's see. 41.35 though is a very key level. We break that, we're likely seeing 4K in my opinion. That's how I think. If we get above 41.80, that invalidates my target. That's it for me, Mark.
All right. Good stuff. Hey, since in the past we talked about this is so I'm gonna give a not really a play, something I am gonna do. Ford had the announcement yesterday about the union, potential chance of them coming to an agreement. It had a quick little pump. I actually got into a couple of contracts, couple meaning two, for next year, June. It was really cheap. $14. There's a lot of open interest in there. It's like 39 bucks a contract. There was a 32 or 39. And yeah, it had a nice little pump, but then it started selling off today, and it looks like it had earnings, and it looks like it's not good. But I have done this in the past for the past year when I first started my wheel strategy and learning about selling covered calls and cash secure puts. I was practicing on a lot of the stocks that were under $10 or around the $10 range. So I started off first, made some money off of that, a little bit of time, wasn't I was here, and then moved up $2, and Ford was one of them. And I've been keeping track of Ford. Anytime Ford gets to the low tens is when I typically would start buying shares to start doing covered calls on them. So I'm seeing that now. Ford once again is getting close to that low tens, especially after his earnings. Right now is down 4.27% at $10.86. And every time I've been getting into Ford, I typically sell around the levels of $13 to $15 where I usually get out of it, because it can't seem to sustain beyond that, at least from what I remember. I'm looking at it right now just to try to see. I mean, at one time we did have a nice pump, typical 2020 all the way up to, what was it, like $25, and then it kind of just hangs around the $15 to $10 range. So I'm keeping an eye on that again. I'll keep you guys updated when I do start buying, if it happens to get to that price while we're still here during this year. But other than that, I have nothing else to add. Mo, you're good?
Yeah, I will say make sure you guys are following us on Instagram and YouTube. Mine is OTB Clubhouse for both of them. We post a lot of alpha. I post a lot of trades and my thesis pretty much every single day and live at least 2 to 3 times a week. And Mark, you want to tell us your YouTube and Instagram?
Yeah, so it's yeah, good call there, Mo. Look at you, man. I totally forgot about this. Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe, like, and give us a thumbs up and click the bell to get notified every single time we go live. I don't have Instagram anymore, y'all. Really. I'm on UC, which is my finance channel slash I don't know, drama channel, whatever you want to call it. But I got a video that I edited that I'm going to drop. I do encourage you guys to check it out. I think it may be a banger. Yes, there will be some drama in there, of course, but I think it's going to be very informative. And then my other channel is Half Breed Observer. So until next time, y'all, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting. And once again, make sure y'all check out Mo. He goes live quite often on Instagram. So you definitely want to follow him on Instagram. Yesterday, you had Mark Monroe on. You had Lawrence, the Panther, and you had Tim, the comedian. I'm joking. Not Tim. Tim's awesome. He's the future trader, but he's a funny dude. He's very funny. And it was a great episode. So make sure you guys follow Mo over there at OTB Clubhouse. Until next time, y'all, peace out.